Okay. Alright, so the first step, I guess, would be to look at the team comps. Oh. Just pause this for a second. Okay. Okay. So in terms of how this game, the team fighting will play out. So from our team, we have two engaged tanks, Nautilus and Sejuani, who both have abilities that can actually start fights. We have two ADCs who essentially will want to peel for, and then I am more of the midliner who I guess in this game, since we're doing running double ADC, it would probably be better just to peel. They don't really need any more damage for me to go in. Looking at their team, they have also double ADC. And two engages. So the difference between our team and their team looks like they're gonna have, they also have a Vex as well, who can do damage. But they don't have that much peel. So if we can hard engage onto them, I think that we'll probably do better, honestly, because we have, they have more damage, but we have way better like engage than they do, and peel if they try to get, they basically can never kill our backline with their comp. I don't know how they'd ever get to it. They don't have any flankers or assassins. So, yeah. ADC, engage. Vex is more of like the midliner, backliner, where she can't really do much, but she'll go in if she can find a good ult. But that should be not too bad, as long as she's not, yeah. Even if she is fed, like, and she gets an ult on, she has to come to us, and we just have like triple tanks, so I think that's just bad for them. And our ADC, our double ADC will be able to blow up their front line pretty quick. So that's kind of how the fight should play out. I think it would be better if we engage onto them, because we have the better engage. We don't really need to flank. We can just play front to back and win that way. So let's look for a team fight. Here's this dragon. This is not a team fight. Here's one. Maybe. Something's gonna happen here. Alright, let's just look at it from, I guess, this perspective. No. Okay. So. Okay, so positionally wise, okay, I guess we can start with where our team is actually at. Immediately we see that Vayne is really fed, so this should be a good team fight for us if we have the advantages, which it looks like right now. If Nunu tries to snowball onto Nautilus, he just dies. I think Sejuani got away from this person and onto the Kaisa, so Kaisa's not even really going to be able to follow up, so if the Nunu commits to this, Nunu's probably dead. Vex and action are non-existent still to where this is going to occur. But yeah, Vayne's really fed right now. Action's ahead. Nautilus is, bot lane is just ahead right now. So there's really, I mean, I do have my ult up still too. So I don't, and really I probably shouldn't join this fight just because of how far ahead we already are. Unless it looks like Vayne's going to die. Okay, Vex dies. Talon also dies. get the hook here. Yeah, this should just be a cleanup because Vayne's so far ahead.
Red team double kill.
Here. Let's see what happens up here. Okay. So Colin's essentially dead at this point. I don't think there's any reason to come back and save him here. This is just limiting. Yeah, there's no point to be there. That just gives her another kill.
Red team double kill.
So said and done, it was a 3 for 2, but it could have been a, I think it could have been a 3 for 1. Maybe even 3 for 0. I don't know if it was necessary to go over this wall either here. You could have just came back to this point and met up with your team. Yeah, I'm not really sure why you went over the wall there. Okay, well that was kind of a team fight, but not really. Okay, so we engage onto them. We're pretty far ahead. I think at this point we just look for fights and just engage on them with Sedge ult, and flank is fine. It's not even necessary though. But I guess it does trap them, so that's good.
Red team triple kill. Red team quadra kill.
Okay. Okay, let's look at this one. Okay, so Vayne is essentially just fed now. By a lot. Only priority in this team fight is to keep him off Vayne. She can literally just sit here and do Baron, I think, right now. They can't really stop us without just dying. Yep, that's good. Moving over there's a lot better. Anyone who tries to come in dies instantly. Yeah, when we're this far ahead, I think it is. Well.
Red team double kill. Red team quadra kill.
Let's see what happens in this fight. Okay, so my all-time Vayne. That taunt was not necessary. I didn't hit anything with it. Now I can't peel anymore. I think it's better in this scenario if I ult and only taunt if you get lowish. Or if there's some like major threat. Because that could have been bad if you would have died there. That's $1,000 and it could have gone to, I don't know, any of these people. So yeah, like we're obviously ahead at this point. There's not really much else to look at in this game, I don't think.
Red team is slain Baron Nashor.
You just get caught out. Okay. Let's try the next one. Okay, so Gwen is kind of a tank, but she's like more of a mid line. Udyr. So Udyr's also a bit of a tank. He has the stun, but he's pretty good at peeling, so they kind of have him for peeling. The thing is, they don't really have any sort of engage on their team besides for Udyr. So as long as like, I don't know, if Udyr like doesn't get fed and Gwen is like not fed, essentially looking at this, they would never really be able to start a fight because they have nothing that can actually stop us besides for like Jhin ult. But if Jhin ults, then he's not going to be there for the fight, so that's still like better for us, I think. And then we have Ezreal, poke, Xerath, poke. We have Vex, who's, like I said last game, is like the midline. She can go in. She's kind of weak against people who just have like really good peel. But and I'm looking at their team. They have Pyke. I guess Pyke is kind of engaged, but not really. Like if he doesn't, I don't know. If we go even, I think that they're just like kind of screwed. We can just poke them out. We have Sejuani for engage. Her ult is super important for team fights, so we need to make sure that Sej ult is up so that we can actually just jump in and like kill them. But I think it's generally better if we're there first to the fights and then they have to come to us because they have no way of like encroaching on our territory with the team comp that they have. It's just like all ADC and like fighters. So for this game, we mostly just want to try to poke them out before the fight and position well. And then if they have to come into us, they're just going to get poked out like a lot before they get to us because we have a lot of space. We can hold a lot of space with this team comp and stop them from doing anything really. The only problem is if we get into a fight and all of them can be doing damage on us, then we're kind of going to be screwed. If they get on top of us, it's really bad for us because they just have way more damage output than we do. Jhin, Pyke, yeah, with Gwen too, and Action. Their damage output is like insane if they can get onto us. But that's where our advantage over them is that like we have the space creation tools with like Ezreal and Xerath. So we should be able to hold the space before fights, and they never really should be able to get on top of us because we have like two people that can peel like very well too. And if anybody gets too close, we can just, I don't know, ult them or just peel them away with, you know, Shen and Sejuani. So I think I would say that for me, my role in this team fight is ensuring that no one gets too close to Ezreal or Xerath. And I do kind of remember how some of the team fights went this game, so it'll be interesting to look at them. This looks like a team fight, kind of. Maybe, maybe not.
Shut down.
Okay, we'll look at this one for Dragon. Alright, who is winning? Let's go a little bit up. First of all, Dragons. Let's go here. Okay, so they're just doing Dragon. This Dragon is completely gone. Okay, so bot lane is actually, I think, ahead right now. They have the Essence Reaver, and Jhin doesn't even have his first item yet, so we're actually stronger in bot lane. He has a Dirk, but we have this. Yeah, we're definitely stronger in bot lane. As long as they can't like dish out their damage. So Pike Hook is like basically critical to dodge for both of these people. Sejuani is pretty far behind. Yeah, this Udyr already has boots finished, and Udyr's just pretty strong early, and he's ahead by a lot too in farm, but he hasn't backed yet, so he's not as far ahead as he could be. I don't even know where Udyr is. Oh yeah, he's doing Dragon. Okay. Top lane, yeah, I mean in top lane too we're behind, so yeah, because the Gwen just rushed for Mythic and I went for boots first. Which is only really bad if the Gwen is there for the fight though. And Gwen's up here, so I don't know. It's not gonna necessarily affect what happens down here. It looks like maybe we just fight up here and then you guys fight down here. But let's see.
Blue team has slain the dragon.
So essentially, how this fight should play out. If they try to engage, well, let's see like how it. I want to see what happens. How the fight starts actually. Yeah, I guess this isn't really a team fight. It's gonna be 3 separate 1v1s at this, or 3 separate fights at the same time. And I'm guessing there's a hook here. Yep. There is. Yeah, I mean a hook is essentially the only way that this is lost.
Turret plating will soon fall.
And then mid lane happens. Yeah. We're just too weak. Okay, that was pretty weird that we had all fought at the same time. Just completely separately too. Okay, that's good. I'd like to find an actual team fight. Is this a team fight? Okay, let's look at this again. Okay, so basically, I mean, nothing's really changed except for, so, items are, well, Jhin is a little bit ahead now, but, like, not that far ahead, I don't think. I think Ezreal's still pretty strong here. Same with Zareth, although he doesn't have his mythic yet. So, actually, bot lane's just a little bit weaker now. They're weaker than they were before, so they really don't want to, like, get engaged now. They really can't get pike hooked, or else it's basically, they're fucked. And action is really strong now. Yeah, we don't want to fight here, essentially. We just want to hold tower, maybe clear the tower. We have a ton of wave clear here, so we can just, like, we don't even have to do anything. Because I'm up here, they have nobody up here to respond to me right now, so right now we don't even need to do anything. We just need a clear wave. So yeah, I just, this is kind of, I don't know. There's no reason to do that. Especially now that Dragon's coming. So we essentially lose Dragon now for free. Although the Dragon probably would have had to have been given anyways. Let's see what's happens here. Yeah, that was necessary.
Blue team is slain.
Pike hooks are just detrimental.
Shut down.
Okay, I mean that was pretty good. That we got the shutdown. I don't know what I'm doing here. This is an overextension for sure. But is there any team fights that happened earlier? Alright, this is the main team fight I remember from the game. So let's just try to break this one down. Alright, so let's go back farther. Let's go back farther. Let's go back farther. Alright. So our win con right now, they have a very fed. Well, essentially, there's 3 people on their team that are gigantic. Actually, 4 that are... Okay, Gwen arguably outscales me, so I will say that she's stronger than me at this moment, even though I'm not, like, behind in items or anything. She's technically stronger than me, because she does outscale. But so this guy's big. The Udyr's much bigger than our team. I think. Yeah, we only have one item, and he already has 2.5 plus boots, 1 boots, 1.5. So Udyr's like a whole item ahead right now. Yeah. He's up by like 2k gold. So he's like a whole item. He's basically an item ahead. Mid lane is up by a few items. Bot lane, I mean, at this point, this is Soul, so I think that's the only reason we actually go for this. We're pretty far behind right now. Like, 1, 2, 2.5. Yeah, so like bot lane's about the same, but support's behind as well. So we're just behind right now. But that doesn't really change, I guess, what our win con is in this scenario. So we have, it's the same as before. We have like the poke line, we have a lot of poke, and they have to like get onto us. So the Udyr has to either basically start the fight for them, or they have to be able to flank us. So like the two things we should be watching out for is like Udyr just running at us, and then so one of these people just like somehow getting behind us, which is what ends up happening. I know Gwen somehow gets behind us this fight. So those are what we should be watching out for. And really Gwen's the only person that can get behind us, Udyr or Gwen, because they're the only people that are tanky enough to just like stand behind us and engage on us. Or maybe Pyke, but I mean even Pyke would just try to fuck around over here and like try to get a hook or something. So we don't want to get hooked by Pyke, that's one of the things. We don't want to get flanked by essentially Gwen or Udyr. And then Udyr's really the only one that can like fight for them. So what I was just trying to do this team fight was I'm not the engage for our team at this point, right? I'm just trying to peel for our carry at this time. This is scary, I would say, because you guys are both alone, and I'm all the way over here. Colin wasn't there either, so you guys could have like, I don't know, if you didn't know where somebody was, they could have probably engaged, and even Gwen could have probably just ran at you, and then these people could have flanked in and done a ton of damage. Like that would have been their scenario if action wasn't way back here. So we just want to poke them out as much as possible, try to create, like, use our space advantage. And Colin, you, like, at this point you have to know that, like, you are the only thing that stops them from running it at us, essentially. And you are also our only engage tool. And this Gwen is basically just getting away with it. Just standing over here. Okay, so we're getting the poke off. So this is how Gwen gets behind us here. And we have to be keeping tabs on Gwen because we know Gwen was over here, so... and now we see Gwen over here. So we know she's back here. Good, keeping tab on Udyr. Okay, so my position is actually a little bit off, I would say, in this position. Well, now it's definitely going to be bad. But I should be back probably... I mean, these are the two people that are going to get dove on. I would arguably say, like, I should be back behind you guys, because you guys should be in the middle of Colin and me, essentially, or I should be, like, right next to you, in case someone does try to get in. So that would be the best situation for me to be here, or you guys have to be, like, further up, and then they have to run through this, like, choke point. The Udyr can go back here all he wants, but if both of these guys, if we don't see Gwen or Udyr, we can just engage onto their team, because then they have nothing to tank, and we'll just blow them up. I think hitting Dragon's probably not the right thing to do right now. You're just taking free damage when, like, we're already behind, so... Yeah, that's not gonna help us really. Yeah, so we know Gwen's there, and like this is where I made the mistake. Like I took too long to get back here, especially even after we knew Gwen was back on this side. So, like I said, I should have been like in this area here by like next to the 3 carries, because I'm like the midliner where I'm, and our team comp is essentially just to let you guys do damage in the fights as much as possible, and I just peel if like someone gets on us. So I should just be here and I should just taunt this Gwen instantly, and then the Gwen is just dead, and now it's a 4v5, and like we already eliminated one of their like big threats, which was Gwen. She does a lot of damage. So, I mean, we kill her, but then Cullen dies for it. So, this is just like, I think this was a little bit of mispositioning also by Cullen. I don't think you needed to be like hitting the dragon up this far. That was like, there was not really like, they could walk in and do the dragon, but we were standing right here and we had vision. So we knew they weren't going to just do it. And if we saw them doing it, then we could like respond to that in that way. But we knew Gwen wasn't there, and like Udyr was over here for a long time too, trying to like get a flank on us. So I think that like it was pointless to be standing up by the dragon. You could have been back here, and I could have been like back here, holding down like right next to our carries, essentially. I guess also, so I kind of see like why you guys are back here, because you want to like zone out this Udyr, but I think it would have been better if we moved everybody like inwards a little bit, because this doesn't necessarily save you from like getting dove by being back here. You do like see the people, but I think if you were up a little bit like farther, then it's just like you can get poke on all these guys too. Like this, we want to be like poking them down. If you're back here, you kind of, I don't know, we're doing like nothing basically back here. So you guys could be up here like with me, and like Cullen should not be hitting dragon. He should be like either like zoning with like his shit, or maybe like looking for an ult on these people while we know Gwen is like all the way the fuck over here. And especially on like the action, because he's really fed. We can, if we ult action and we just blow him up like before Gwen even can respond, or Udyr can respond, that would be like gigantic for us. So like, and there's definitely like an opportunity for you to have ulted action in like a few different moments, or even like flash ulting him. Like you have flash available, and we know that like if we can pick action before they can respond to us, that is going to be like massive for our team. And especially if we see Gwen this far away from the team fight, that's like our trigger that we should just go in and fight them. And that's not like, that's also partially not possible because like our bot lane was standing this far back. I mean, I understand why they were standing that far back, because they wanted to like control the space back here, and because like, yeah, because we didn't have like good vision. I guess we did have like decent vision, so I don't know, but I think you guys were playing like a little bit too far back. I think it would have been better to be like a little bit closer so you could actually poke down, because that's essentially what our win con is this game, is to be able to poke them out. And like if Sejuani gets a big ult, then like you guys can follow up on it. So there's really nothing we can do right now. Like Sejuani can't like just ult on somebody, because then you guys aren't in position to follow up on it really. That's what it looks like to me. It would be the best scenario.
Blue team triple kill. Blue team slain dragon.
Okay, instead we just
Blue team double kill.
All right, and that was, I mean, that was a pretty good, like that was a pretty meaty team fight right there. So I think that's enough for that game. This is a very low kill amount of game.
Turret plating
I don't
will
even know if we
fall
have a
soon.
team fight this game. Okay, well, that's those two. I'm gonna quickly check to see if any of these other games are uploaded. But it looks like they weren't from our last session, so yeah, that's about it. Essentially, I guess it's like a wrap up. Can this even be seen? Okay, okay. So we have, I don't know, our bot lane can either be not Xerath. I don't really know who Sam's playing yet, but he's played Vayne and Ezreal. X-Real. Shen. What the fuck is that champion's name? Sej? Okay, Sejuani, engage. So that's what you're looking for. Shen. Midline. Looking to peel. Ezreal. Very good at poking. So you want to control the space. Vayne is actually pretty good at like fighting. So basically just enabling Vayne to like get damage off is like the best thing, I think. She wants to like, she does kind of want to like get in there and like shoot people a lot, so yeah, she's not really like a zone control. She's more of like a hard engage type of carry, so like, I don't know, fighter, I guess. Xerath, poke, same as Ezreal. Nautilus is an engaged champ who also excels at like peeling, so he can kind of do both of them. I think that's like kind of a cool thing about Nautilus is that like his peel is also so easy because you can just click on people and they're rooted essentially. So that's like really good for team fighting to be like the mid lane, but you also have like an amazing engage. It's kind of like actually Sejuani can kind of do that as well, but yeah, Nautilus and Sejuani both have like they both can kind of play similar actually in that way where like they could be looking for the engage if the enemy mispositions, or we see like somebody like what happened in the last game where the Gwen was super out of position. Assuming that everybody was in position, like either Sejuani or Nautilus could just go for like a hook or like an engage on those people, one of their fed carries or something, lock them down and we just blow them up. Yeah, I think that would be like the best. So Nautilus can be the engage, but he can also be peel if he needs to be. Shen's not that good at engaging. He's like way better at peeling people. Yeah, there's like you really will only be the engage as like a catch sort of a thing. So you like catch people that are out, like caught out, not really in team fights or anything. It's better just to wait in team fights. And then Sejuani also engage. So that's basically how team fights should go for our team. If we're playing the poke comp, like I said, I should probably just be standing near you guys to like stop them from doing anything. We wait for someone to misposition. We try to control the space. So in that last team fight, when we saw the Gwen that was out of position, we should have engaged, and you guys should have been farther up, and I should have been on top of you. Yeah, Vex was there as well, so I forgot about Vex on this. Vex is kind of like a midline champion that looks for opportunities to like get huge AoE off. So like her team fighting is pretty good as long as she has ult. To just like pick people off and get resets essentially. She just deals a lot of damage over time. So she's also like good with our team comp when we like try to control space, because she has like her gigantic fucking ability, the big circle, and then she has also the one that goes really far in a straight line, which is both of those can like do a lot of damage if you just basically spam them at the people, especially if we have Ezreal to control space and we have Xerath. So like we can just poke them out infinitely, and I just like stand there. We don't get flanked, and we're fine. So yeah, that's essentially it.